Phillip is on right now.
Big day for your Bears and Phillip.
Yeah, the Bears. It's a big day.
Doc, if I could just ask you to go into your memory bank here. You coached against the Magic's last finals team. What made that team special?
Kevin Garnett was injured. No, I'm just joking. Only half joking. Actually, they were really talented. You know, they were a good team. I thought Turk and Rashard Lewis and the Dwight Howard, the Dwight Howard was just really good. You know, I thought that Stan did an amazing job of getting them to buy into their roles. And you know, I thought as the years went on, when Dwight wanted to be more of an offensive player, I actually thought it actually hurt them because he was an offensive player being a defensive player, you know, and rebounding and running the floor, and they had all that shooting around him. And I thought that's what made them so good and very difficult to play against.
You guys got out to the start last game and the interview that you guys were doing.
Yeah.
Can you do that? How do you do that again?
Yeah, we have to. Like, we don't have a choice. If we don't, we got to get back to playing that way all the time. Like, we really do. We've won some games in this stretch, and basically it's because we've been so good offensively, we just have outscored teams. But for us to sustain excellence, we have to be more of that in the first half, where we're getting stops. And you know, I think one of the things we talked about was, it's clear we're a good offensive team. Like, we know that, right? But when we get stops, we're a great offensive team. And that's like, you're trying to sell to them that if you want to be a great offensive team, you have to play very good defense. And when we do that, we're going to score a lot of points. And so, you know, the other night, they bought into that, and we have to stand to that.
Doc, we're about like almost halfway through the regular season.
It's amazing.
The dregs of the season, month out from All-Star break. How do you keep your guys excited to play, motivated when we're, you know?
Well, we have no choice. Like, the good part about our team, I think they understand that if they don't perform well, they can't win. You know, that we don't have a guy on our team where we just say, well, we're not performing well, let's just give it to him and he'll just win it for us. We're not that type of team. I think our guys actually understand that. And they actually understand that for us to win, we have to actually really show up every night to play well. And on those nights that we don't, we're probably not going to win the game. And so as long as we get that, I think we have a chance of playing through this, what they call the dog days of the NBA. Yeah.
When you're facing a team like Orlando that shoots a lot of mid-range jumpers,
yeah.
do you want them to do that, or would you rather have them do something they don't normally do?
A little bit of both. You know, you want them to do that with contested shots. You know, Orlando has done a great job. I think Steve Clifford has done as well a job as anybody in the league. You know, when you look at them, when we played them early in the year to where they're at now, the transformation has been amazing. But when they make shots, whether it's mid-range, and especially when they make threes, they're really good. They're really hard to guard when they do that. So we clearly want to take them off of that if we can.
Hey Doc, you only get to see Vucevic twice a year.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, you said he was the best player that nobody knew in the
Yeah.
league. You think he's worthy of being in that All-Star game with the numbers he's putting up?
Yeah, you know, I don't even know. I swear. It's so funny. Like, I didn't even know the All-Star game vote is almost over. I didn't even know they started voting. I'm not kidding. Someone told me yesterday, I think Derrick Rose is at the top or something, and I said, wow, I didn't know they opened up voting. I'm still used to the pegs where they punch them. You don't see any of that around the arenas anymore, so you forget that the voting. You know, it'd be great for him, I can tell you that. He's definitely played his butt off. And he's put a team in the playoff contention that no one thought would be there early. And I just think that should have more consideration. And I don't think it does enough, you know. And, you know, we'll see. But I think the coaches is how he'll make it.
Yeah.
Are we still doing that? Do the coaches vote this?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So then I think he has a great shot. I really do. I think if it's a popularity contest, that's going to be hard for him. But I think if it's a coaching contest, where the coaches are viewing, then I think he has an excellent shot.
For a lot of young guys, sometimes they might be dictated by their offense, but
Yeah.
for Shea, like, how important is it for him to, when his shot is knocked on, like the other night, he had 9 assists, a couple boards, some steals, how important is it for him to do other things?
It is important, especially he's a point guard, you know. I was really proud of him the other night because he didn't just miss shots, he missed a couple of bad ones. I thought that was me shooting a couple of those, and he ends up with 9 assists, he gets a couple steals, he gets his hands involved. You know, we always ask our guys, if we take away what you do best, what can you do to help the team? And we say that almost every day. You know, do something to help the team other than what you can do. And I thought he did that the other night. It was really great. I think it was great for him to see that he can help a team even if he's not making shots.
On a night like that, when he is struggling shooting, do you have to say anything to him? Or
No, I try not to. You know, I don't say anything to guys making or missing. I leave that alone because they don't need anybody else in their head. They're already in there.
Doc, it's been nearly 20 years since that Hard Hustle team, and that team still resonates with
Yeah,
fans almost
me
as
too.
much as any, right?
Yeah.
What was so special, and are there any similarities with how hard this group?
This team is very similar. You know, this team's a little more talented. You know, they really are. And unfortunately, we're in the West, which we better be. But that's like, you know, I've done it a long time now. That has to be one or two of my favorite teams I've ever coached. It's still, I think what made that team close or good is how close we were. It's amazing how many of those guys that I talk to weekly. You know, it's just an unbelievable group. You know, that group, you remember before the year, the Sports Illustrated had that ranking, the top 300 players, and that one was on there. You know, and usually the coach has to put that on the bulletin board, but Darryl Armstrong had it in everybody's locker. And it's easy for a team to carry that for one game. I thought they carried that slight for the entire season. And it was one of the most fun years I've ever had, player or coaching, with the group of guys. That was just a magical year for us.
Not to bring up a bad memory, but it's coming up on 5 years when Terrence Ross had 51 against you guys.
Yeah, we talked about that today.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
What are your memories from that night with Ross and the Magic now? What are your memories from that night?
Well, it was an inside joke. You know, we had this thing with the Celtics where we had they didn't want you to like overdo a role player. Kevin Garnett, we're talking about him. And so right before we went out, I mentioned Terrence Ross. I said, hey guys, I know y'all don't like me doing this, but Terrence Ross can really shoot the ball. And I think it was Paul that one of them, he hasn't made a shot all year. And he ends up with 50. You know, it was remarkable. And so that's what I remember about it after the game. I think Ray Allen was the first guy. You know, they were all thanking me, thanks for bringing him up. They were blaming me for the guy scoring 50. So, but it was. And, you know, I think he has that in him. Like, he's a catch and shoot guy. And when he gets it going, he can be streaky too. And when he gets it going, he's hard to turn off.
Doc, you mentioned for the last game that Melvin did a nice job speeding Shea up.
Yeah.
That was something he was so good at, was playing at his own pace. Or having more success at getting him out of his way.
Not really. I just thought it was an incident that happened. You know, I think they had something going on. You know, probably had draft workouts. You never know what that was. But and Melvin's an excellent defender. You know, he really is. He was an excellent defender in college when he played. You know, so it's just another lesson. Another thing for Shea to put in his bank, you know, you're going to get pressure. And when you get pressure, you still have to run the team. And I thought early on he was so busy trying to beat the pressure, he forgot to run the team. But as he slowed down, you know, I thought it affected his shot, but his playmaking was phenomenal. So that's a great lesson for Shea.
And last time you guys played the Magic, you guys were coming off 2 pretty core games in KC and Philly.
Yeah.
After that, when you won, I think 7 of your next 8.
Yeah.
Do you look back at this last game and thinking it was an important early season win?
I think every win on the road is important, you know, to be honest. We needed a win, we got it. I didn't think they had their best night that night, and so, but we like that too. We'll take those all we can get, you know, but it did help us. You know, it's amazing how one win can spur you into 4 or 5 wins, and it doesn't matter. Think about the next night, if my memory serves me right, Orlando played in San Antonio and won big. So it's just how this league works, and then they start playing well. So you just never know what or why get you going, but you know when you have it going, and you want to extend it as long as you can.
For Celtics play last night against Orlando, obviously you had a really good game against Phoenix.
Yeah, he thought the other night was Polish night. He got the nights mixed up. Either that or what he was doing was he was making sure he played tonight if he played well the other night. So, yeah, I'm happy for him. I'm happy for them today. Everybody has pride in their country. I don't know if anyone has more pride than March, and I'm very serious. I went to a function last night, and we had special forces from Poland. I felt very safe. We had dignitaries, and he knew everyone's names. He was calling people up, and he was starting to talk about the history of the country. It was a 100-year independence of Poland, which honestly, I call myself a history buff. I just thought Poland, I know they've been in existence for 500, I just assumed, I didn't realize that, that they had been occupied to that point several times. So it was a history lesson for me last night from March, which was really cool.
So is he gonna play?
Oh yeah, he's gonna play.
But is he starting?
Yes. Come on tonight? Crazy? All right guys, thank you. Go watch.